Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak English Confident. I'm Nora, and I'm really happy you're here today. Take a slow breath with me for a moment. Many English learners think fluency means speaking fast. They believe confident speakers never stop, never hesitate, never pause. But today, we're going to discover something surprising. Sometimes the most confident speakers are the ones who pause, not because they don't know English, but because they know exactly how to use silence.
That already makes me feel better, Nora, because honestly, I pause a lot. Sometimes I pause because I'm thinking, sometimes because I feel nervous, and sometimes my brain just goes completely blank.
Yes, and that happens to almost everyone learning a language. You're talking with someone, they ask you a question, you understand it, but suddenly you feel pressure. Your heart beats faster, your mind searches for words, and then you think, oh no, I'm too slow.
Exactly. That's the feeling, especially when someone is waiting for my answer. That silence feels uncomfortable. I start speaking quickly just to fill the space, and then my sentence becomes messy.
That is a very real experience. Today's episode is about changing how you see pauses, because pauses are not a problem. Pauses are power. Confident speakers use pauses to sound thoughtful, calm, and clear. And when you learn how to use them intentionally, people start to listen to you differently.
So you're saying pauses can actually make us sound more fluent?
Yes, absolutely. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is control. Let's imagine two people speaking. Person one speaks very fast. Yes, I think maybe we can go and, maybe it's okay. They never stop, but listeners feel confused. Now, person two speaks like this. Well, I think we could try that idea. Slow, clear, calm. Who sounds more confident?
The second person, definitely. Even though they spoke slower.
Exactly. A pause gives your listener time to follow you, and it gives you time to think. Today, we'll explore real situations where learners feel nervous, meetings, small talk, unexpected questions, phone conversations, and we'll learn how strategic pauses help you stay calm.
I like that word, strategic, because my pauses right now feel accidental, not strategic at all.
And that's perfectly okay. We're going to transform accidental pauses into confident pauses. Let's begin with a very common situation. You meet someone new, they ask, so, tell me about yourself.
Oh no, that question scares me every time.
Yes, many learners feel the same. You know the answer, but suddenly you feel pressure to speak perfectly. So, what happens?
I start immediately. I am from Cambodia, I work in a marketing company, and halfway through, I want to restart my sentence.
That happens because you didn't give yourself permission to pause. Here's the secret. Native speakers pause before answering important questions. Listen carefully. Someone asks, tell me about yourself. A confident speaker says, well, pause. I work in marketing and I really enjoy creative projects. That small pause does three powerful things. First, it shows confidence. Second, it gives your brain time to organize ideas. Third, it relaxes your voice.
So the pause is not empty, it's preparation.
Exactly. And here's a simple phrase you can use to create a natural pause. You can say, let me think for a second. Try saying it slowly.
Let me think for a second.
Perfect. That sentence is magical for learners because instead of feeling embarrassed about thinking, you announce it confidently. You're telling the listener, I care about my answer.
That already feels safer. Instead of panic, I have a tool.
Yes. Let's practice together. Imagine I ask you, what do you like doing after work? Don't answer immediately. Take a pause.
Okay, let me think for a second. I usually like going for a walk and listening to music.
Beautiful. Did you notice how calm that sounded?
Yes, and I didn't feel rushed.
That's the power of a pause. Now, let's talk about another emotional moment. Someone speaks very fast English to you, maybe at work, maybe while traveling, maybe during an online meeting. You understand only part of what they say. So, what do many learners do?
Pretend they understand. I've done that many times.
You are not alone. Learners often fear stopping the conversation, so they smile, nod, and say yes, but inside they feel stressed.
Yes, and later I realized I agreed to something I didn't understand.
Exactly. Here is where a confident pause helps again. Instead of reacting immediately, pause and say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" Or, "Give me a moment, I want to make sure I understand." These sentences slow the conversation down. They show professionalism, not weakness.
I always thought asking again makes me look less capable.
Actually, clear communication makes you look more capable. Confident professionals clarify. They pause, they check understanding, they respond thoughtfully. Fast responses are not always smart responses.
That changes my mindset a lot.
Good. Now, I want everyone listening to imagine this real life situation. You're in a meeting, your manager suddenly asks, "What do you think about this idea?" Your name is called unexpectedly, your body reacts immediately, heart racing, hands tense, mind blank.
That is my nightmare scenario.
And today we make it easier. Step 1, breathe. Step 2, pause. Step 3, use a thinking phrase. For example, "That's a good question. I think we could try it, but maybe start small." Notice something important. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need complex vocabulary. You need structure and calm delivery.
So, confidence comes from rhythm, not complicated English.
Yes, exactly. Let's talk about rhythm for a moment. English has music. When learners rush, the music disappears. Pauses create rhythm. They help listeners absorb meaning. Think about great speakers you admire. They don't speak without stopping. They pause before important ideas. They pause after key words. They allow silence to support their message.
I remember watching interviews where speakers pause and look thoughtful. I always thought they were naturally confident.
Many of them learned this skill intentionally, and you can too. Let's practice another real situation. Small talk. You meet a colleague in an elevator. They say, "How's your day going?" Many learners answer too quickly. "Fine, thank you, and you?" Conversation ends immediately.
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Now, listen to this version. "How's your day going?" "Well, it's been busy, but good. I finally finished an important project." The pause creates space for connection. It invites conversation.
It sounds more human.
Yes, because conversation is not a race, it's connection, and pauses help connection grow. Now, I want to introduce a very powerful idea. There are 3 types of confident pauses. First, the thinking pause, used when you need time. Second, the emphasis pause, used before something important. Third, the calming pause, used when you feel nervous.
I never realized pauses had different purposes.
Let's explore the calming pause. Imagine you make a mistake while speaking. Many learners panic and talk faster, but confident speakers do the opposite. They pause, they smile, then continue. Example, "I went to the meeting yesterday, I mean last week." Simple, calm, natural. Mistakes become small, not dramatic.
That feels very freeing, because mistakes are my biggest fear.
And pauses help you recover gracefully. Here's a small speaking exercise for everyone listening. I want you to repeat after me. Speak slowly, add a pause where I pause. Ready? Well, pause. I'm still thinking about that.
Well, I'm still thinking about that.
Very nice. Now another one. That's interesting. Pause. I've never thought about it that way.
That's interesting. I've never thought about it that way.
Excellent. These phrases buy you thinking time while sounding confident. And something beautiful begins to happen. Instead of fearing silence, you start owning it.
I already feel a mindset. You know, Nora, something interesting is happening while we talk. I'm starting to remember conversations where I felt nervous, and now I realize the problem wasn't my English level. It was the pressure to answer immediately.
That realization is very important. Many learners believe confidence comes from knowing more vocabulary, but often confidence comes from allowing yourself time. Let's explore a situation that almost every learner experiences. You are having a conversation, and suddenly someone asks an unexpected question. Not a simple question, a question that needs opinion, explanation, or emotion. Maybe, what do you think about working remotely? Or why did you choose your career? Your brain needs time, but socially, silence feels uncomfortable.
Yes, that moment feels dangerous. If I stay quiet, I worry the other person thinks I don't understand. So I start speaking before my idea is clear.
Exactly. And when we speak before thinking, we often feel less confident afterward. So today, we'll practice how to own that moment. Instead of fearing silence, we shape it. Let's learn a powerful habit called the soft start. A soft start is a short sentence that gives you thinking space while keeping the conversation alive. Here are some natural soft starts. That's an interesting question. I've never thought about that before. Let me think about it for a moment. These are not filler phrases. They are communication tools.
So instead of silence, I create a bridge.
Yes, a bridge between thinking and speaking. Let's role play. I'll ask you something unexpected. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
What motivates you in life?
That's an interesting question. I think learning new things motivates me. I enjoy improving little by little.
Wonderful. Notice how calm that sounded. You didn't rush. You gave your brain permission to organize meaning.
And I felt more relaxed while answering.
That relaxation changes your voice. Listeners can hear calm thinking, and calm thinking sounds intelligent. Now let's talk about something emotional. Sometimes pauses are not about vocabulary, they're about feelings. Imagine you are speaking English with someone you admire, maybe a manager, a teacher, a new friend you want to impress. Your emotional pressure increases.
Yes, when I talk to someone important, my English suddenly becomes worse.
That happens because anxiety speeds up your brain. You try to perform instead of communicate. Here's a small technique. Before answering, take one silent breath. No words, just breathe. Then begin speaking. That breath becomes an invisible pause.
I like that. It feels natural.
Let's practice together. Imagine your manager asks, "Can you explain your idea again?" First reaction, stress. But instead of rushing, you breathe. Then you say, "Sure, what I meant was simple, professional, clear."
I notice confident people do this. They never look rushed.
Yes, because confidence is often emotional regulation, not language perfection. Now I want to talk about a situation many listeners struggle with, group conversations. You're standing with several people, everyone speaks quickly, jokes happen fast, topics change quickly, and you think, I don't know when to speak.
That is one of the hardest situations for me. By the time I prepare a sentence, the topic changes.
Exactly. So learners either stay silent or interrupt suddenly. Both feel uncomfortable. Here's how pauses help. Instead of jumping in fast, you wait for a natural pause in the group. every conversation has breathing moments. Someone finishes a story, people laugh, there's 1 second of silence. That is your invitation. You can enter gently using phrases like, "That reminds me, I had a similar experience," or "Can I add something?"
Those feel polite and safe.
Yes, they signal participation without pressure. Let's try a role play. We're in a group talking about travel. I'll start. "I recently visited Thailand. The food was amazing." Now you join the conversation.
That reminds me, I traveled to Vietnam last year and I really loved the street food there.
Perfect. You didn't interrupt, you entered smoothly, and the pause before speaking helped you sound thoughtful. I see now that pauses also help timing. Exactly. Conversation is timing, not speed. Now let's explore another real-life moment, phone calls. Many learners feel extra nervous on the phone. Why? Because there are no facial expressions, no body language, only voice.
Yes, phone calls make me panic. If I don't understand something, I feel trapped.
That's very common. Here's an important rule. On the phone, pauses are normal. Even native speakers pause more during calls. You can safely say, "Let me check that. 1 moment, please. Let me look at my notes." These phrases create professional pauses. They show responsibility, not weakness.
I always thought I needed to answer instantly.
No, instant answers are not professional answers. Clear answers are professional answers. Let's practice a phone situation. I'll be a customer. "Hi, I'd like to know the delivery status of my order." Your turn.
1 moment, please. Let me check that for you.
Excellent. That short pause protects your confidence and it protects communication quality. Now, I want to share something many learners don't realize. Pauses also help pronunciation. When you speak too fast, words connect incorrectly. Your mouth cannot keep up with your thoughts. But when you pause, your pronunciation becomes clearer automatically.
That explains why I sound better when I speak slowly during practice, but not in real conversations.
Yes, practice often happens without pressure. Real conversation adds emotion. Pauses help bring practice quality into real life. Let's try a speaking exercise together. I will say a sentence quickly first. Listen, "I think we could finish this project tomorrow." Hard to understand, right? Now listen with pauses. "I think we could finish this project tomorrow." Much clearer.
It sounds more professional, too.
Exactly. Clear speech builds listener trust, and trust builds confidence. Now, let's explore storytelling again, but deeper. Imagine you are telling a friend about a problem you had. Many learners speak like this. "Yesterday, I was late because bus was late and then manager was angry." Listeners feel overwhelmed. Instead, use emotional pauses. Example, "Yesterday, I was late for work. The bus broke down and I felt really stressed." Pauses allow emotion to breathe.
I never realized pauses make stories more interesting.
They do. Humans listen not only to words, but to rhythm. Now I want to talk about a difficult emotional experience. Sometimes learners feel embarrassed after a conversation. You replay the moment in your mind. You think, "I should have said this. I sounded stupid. I spoke too slowly."
Yes, I do that a lot after meetings.
Here's an important perspective. Pauses you remember as awkward often sounded completely normal to listeners. We judge ourselves more harshly than others do. In fact, many listeners appreciate slower speakers because they are easier to understand.
So the uncomfortable silence exists mostly in my head.
Often, yes. Confidence grows when you stop fighting silence. Instead, you cooperate with it. Let's practice another real-life scenario. You disagree with someone. Disagreement can feel scary in English. You want to respond carefully. A pause becomes your best friend. Instead of reacting quickly, try, "I see your point, but I have a slightly different opinion." That pause softens the disagreement.
That sounds respectful.
Yes, strategic pauses make communication kinder. They reduce emotional tension, and they give you time to choose polite words. Now imagine a workplace discussion. Someone presents an idea you're not sure about. Instead of saying immediately, "I don't agree," you pause, then say, "That's interesting. Could we also consider another option?" Same idea, better emotional impact.
I feel like pauses help not only language but relationships.
That's beautifully said. Language is human connection, and pauses help people feel heard. Before we continue, I want listeners to practice a small daily habit. Today, in one conversation, intentionally pause before answering. Just one conversation. Notice how your body feels. Notice how the listener reacts. You may discover something surprising. People rarely notice the pause, but they notice your calmness.
I'm starting to feel excited to try this in real life.
That excitement means learning is becoming personal, and as we continue talking together, you'll begin noticing even deeper ways pauses can transform not just how you speak, but how you feel while speaking English.
Nora, I've been thinking about something while listening. Before today, I believed confident English speakers were people who never struggled inside their minds, but now I realize maybe they struggle too. They just manage the moment differently.
That's a very insightful observation. Confidence does not mean absence of struggle. It means knowing how to stay calm during the struggle. And pauses are one of the strongest tools for emotional control while speaking. Today, let's go deeper into something many learners secretly experience, the moment when your mind goes completely blank.
Oh, yes, the famous empty brain. It happens to me even when I know the topic well. Someone asks me a question and suddenly every English word disappears.
That experience has a name. It's called cognitive overload. Your brain understands the question, searches for grammar, checks pronunciation, worries about mistakes, and manages emotions, all at the same time. That's a lot of work.
So it's not because I'm bad at English.
Not at all. It's because your brain is multitasking under pressure. And here is the important part. A pause reduces cognitive overload. When you pause, you give your brain space to process information step by step. Let's practice how to recover when your mind goes blank. Imagine someone asks, "What are your future goals?" Your mind freezes. Instead of panicking, you use a recovery phrase. You can say, that's a big question. Now your brain has time.
That feels very natural, almost like buying thinking time.
Exactly. Native speakers do this constantly. They don't answer instantly, they think aloud. Here are some powerful recovery phrases. Let me think about that. That's a good question. I need a moment to organize my thoughts. These sentences turn silence into confidence.
I like organize my thoughts. It sounds professional.
Yes, and professional language often includes pauses. Now let's explore another emotional situation. You start speaking and suddenly you realize your sentence structure is wrong. Many learners panic and restart completely.
Yes, I stop and say, sorry, then restart.
And that increases stress. Instead, confident speakers pause and repair smoothly. For example, I was working in marketing for 3 years. Short pause, small correction, continue speaking, no drama.
That feels much lighter emotionally.
Because communication is forgiving. Listeners care about meaning more than perfection. Let's do a repair practice together. I'll intentionally make a mistake, then fix it calmly. I visited Japan two times last year. Now you try.
I start learning English 5 years ago.
Excellent. Notice how the pause makes the correction feel natural. Now I want to talk about something deeper, fear of judgment. Many learners feel watched when speaking English. You imagine listeners evaluating your grammar. You feel exposed.
Yes, sometimes I feel like I'm taking an exam during normal conversation.
That feeling creates urgency, and urgency destroys fluency. Pauses reduce that psychological pressure. When you pause intentionally, you send a signal to your brain. I am safe, I have time, and your nervous system relaxes.
So pauses aren't only language tools, they're emotional tools.
Exactly. Let's imagine a real scenario. You're introducing yourself at an international event. People from different countries are listening. Instead of rushing, try this rhythm. Hi, my name is Miles. I work in marketing, and I really enjoy creative communication. Each pause stabilizes your confidence.
I can feel the difference just hearing it.
Good. Now we'll explore one of the most powerful uses of pauses, sounding authoritative. Many learners want to sound more professional at work. They believe they need advanced vocabulary, but authority often comes from delivery, not vocabulary. Listen to these two versions. Version 1. I think we may have to finish this soon because clients are waiting. Version 2. I think we should finish this soon. The clients are waiting. Which sounds more authoritative?
The second one, definitely.
Yes, short sentences plus pauses create leadership energy. You sound composed, you sound decisive, even with simple English.
That's encouraging because simple English feels achievable.
And simplicity is powerful. Now let's move into a longer role play. Imagine you're in a team meeting. I'll be your colleague. We're facing a problem with the project deadline. What do you suggest? Take a pause before answering.
Pause. Let me think for a moment. Pause. I think we could divide the tasks and focus on the most urgent parts first.
Beautiful response. Clear, structured, calm. Listeners would trust that answer.
I noticed something. The pause helped me organize my idea into steps.
Exactly. Pauses improve thinking quality. Now let's explore social conversations. Sometimes learners feel pressure to be funny or interesting in English. You want to respond quickly to jokes, but humor also benefits from pauses. Imagine someone tells a funny story. Instead of rushing to respond, you pause, smile, and say, "That's hilarious. Something similar happened to me." That pause shows engagement. It shows you are present.
So even emotional reactions can use pauses.
Yes, pauses communicate attention, and attention builds connection. Now I want to talk about listening. Many learners focus only on speaking skills, but confident speakers are excellent listeners, and listening naturally includes pauses. When someone finishes speaking, don't answer immediately. Take 1 second. That small silence shows respect.
I've noticed interviewers do that. They listen fully before responding.
Exactly. Instant replies can feel mechanical. A thoughtful pause shows genuine consideration. Let's practice active listening language. Someone tells you, "I've been feeling very stressed at work lately." Instead of quick advice, you pause. Then say, "I'm sorry to hear that. What's been most stressful?" That pause communicates empathy.
It feels warmer.
Because conversation is emotional exchange, not information exchange. Now let's explore a very common learner challenge, translating in your head. Many learners think in their native language first, then translate into English. This process takes time, and learners feel embarrassed by that delay. But here's the truth. The pause you need for translation is normal. Instead of hiding it, support it. Use phrases like, "Give me a second. I want to say this correctly."
That removes pressure. I don't need to pretend instant fluency.
Exactly. Honest communication builds confidence faster than pretending perfection. Now I want listeners to try a short speaking exercise. Repeat after me with intentional pauses. Ready? Well, I'm still learning, but I'm improving every day.
Well, I'm still learning, but I'm improving every day.
Very good. Now another one. I need a moment to explain my idea clearly.
I need a moment to explain my idea clearly.
Excellent. Notice how these sentences sound confident, not weak. Now let's talk about emotional recovery. Sometimes a conversation doesn't go well. You misunderstand something. You feel awkward. Your confidence drops. In the past, you might avoid speaking again, but pauses can help you reset during the conversation. You can say, "Let me restart. What I wanted to say was this." This simple reset keeps communication moving forward.
That feels very forgiving.
Language learning should feel forgiving. You are allowed to restart. You are allowed to think. You are allowed to pause. And the more you accept this, the more natural your English becomes.
I'm realizing that confidence is less about language ability and more about self-permission.
Yes, permission to breathe, permission to think, permission to speak at your own pace. As you continue practicing, something subtle begins to change. You stop chasing words, and instead, words begin to follow your thoughts naturally behind you because you are no longer fighting time. You are working with it. And once that shift happens, conversations start feeling less like tests and more like real human moments shared through language.
Nora, I want to share something honestly. Since we started talking about pauses, I'm noticing how often I used to rush because I was afraid people would lose interest in what I was saying.
That fear is very human. Many learners believe they must entertain the listener constantly. They think silence means failure, but strong communicators understand something important. People don't connect with speed. They connect with clarity and presence, and pauses help you become present.
Presence. I like that word. Because sometimes when I speak English, I feel disconnected from myself. I'm thinking about grammar instead of the conversation.
Yes, that's a powerful observation. When your attention goes only to language rules, communication becomes stressful. Pauses help bring your attention back to the moment. Let's explore a situation many listeners know well. You are explaining something complicated, maybe instructions at work, maybe a story, maybe directions while traveling. Learners often try to explain everything in one long sentence.
That sounds exactly like me. I start talking and I don't know where to stop.
Today we learn the skill of chunking. Chunking means dividing your ideas into small pieces, separated by pauses. Instead of one long sentence, you create short thought groups. Listen to this example. Without pauses. First, you need to send the email, then contact the client, and after that, prepare the report. Now, with chunking, first, pause, send the email. Then, pause, contact the client. After that, pause, prepare the report.
That sounds much clearer.
Yes, pauses organize information for the listener, and when listeners understand you easily, your confidence grows naturally. Let's practice together. Explain how to make coffee using chunking. Take your time.
Okay. First, boil some water, then add coffee to a cup. After that, pour the hot water slowly.
Excellent. You sounded calm, structured, and easy to follow. Notice how pauses helped both thinking and delivery. Now let's talk about storytelling in social situations. Imagine you are with friends and someone asks, "What did you do last weekend?" Many learners answer very quickly. "I stayed home, watched movies, and met friends." Information is there, but emotion disappears. Let's slow it down. Well, last weekend was relaxing. I watched a movie, and later I met some friends for dinner.
It sounds more alive.
Because pauses give space for emotion. Listeners imagine your experience. Now I want to introduce another powerful concept, the confidence pause. This pause happens after you say something important. Most learners pause only when they are unsure, but confident speakers also pause after strong statements. Example, "I believe this project will succeed." Pause. That silence lets your words land.
Like giving weight to your message.
Exactly. Leaders, teachers, and skilled speakers do this naturally. Let's practice. Say this sentence with confidence. "I'm ready for this challenge."
I'm ready for this challenge.
Very good. Did you feel the difference?
Yes, the pause made it feel more serious.
Because silence creates emphasis. Now let's explore a situation many learners find emotionally difficult. Job interviews. Interviews create pressure because you want to sound intelligent and professional, so learners often speak too fast. But interviewers actually trust candidates who pause. Imagine this question: "Why should we hire you?" Instead of rushing, try this rhythm. "Thank you for the question. I believe my strength is problem solving, and I work well in teams."
That sounds confident without complicated English.
Exactly. Authority comes from calm delivery. Now I want to discuss something subtle. Sometimes learners fill pauses with sounds like, uh, um, you know, like. These are called filler words. Everyone uses them sometimes, but too many reduce clarity.
I use a lot when I feel nervous.
Most learners do. Here's a helpful replacement strategy. Instead of filling silence with sound, replace fillers with quiet breathing. Silence sounds more confident than Let's compare. Version 1. I think we should maybe start earlier. Version 2. I think we should start earlier.
The second one sounds much stronger.
Yes, silence communicates control. Now let's practice removing fillers. I'll give you a sentence. Take a breath instead of saying. The main problem is.
The main problem is communication between teams.
Excellent. That sounded thoughtful. Now let's move into a deeper emotional situation. You're speaking English with native speakers and they interrupt you. Many learners immediately stop talking. They feel their English is not important enough.
Yes, I often give up when someone interrupts.
Here's where pauses help reclaim your voice. Instead of stopping completely, pause calmly and continue. You can say, "Just a second, I'd like to finish my thought." Polite, calm, confident.
That feels empowering.
Because confident communication includes protecting your speaking space. Pauses help you maintain control without aggression. Now let's practice an extended workplace role play. We're in a meeting discussing a new idea. I'll begin. "I'm not sure this plan will work." You respond thoughtfully using pauses.
I understand your concern, but I think we could test the idea on a small scale first.
Excellent. You acknowledged the other person and presented your idea calmly. That's professional communication. Now let's talk about emotional storytelling again. Sometimes you want to share a meaningful experience, maybe a challenge you overcame. Pauses allow vulnerability. Example, a few years ago, pause, I was very afraid to speak English. Pause. I avoided conversations. Pause, because I felt embarrassed. Those pauses help you feel your journey.
It feels more personal.
Yes, pauses invite empathy. Now I want listeners to imagine a moment when you felt proud speaking English. Maybe you ordered food successfully. Maybe you joined a meeting. Maybe you made a new friend. When telling that story, slow down. Allow pauses. Your story deserves space.
I realize pauses also help me enjoy speaking instead of surviving it.
That's a beautiful realization. Language learning should include enjoyment, not constant pressure. Now let's discuss conversations when emotions are strong. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you disagree strongly. Fast speech often increases conflict, but a pause creates emotional balance. Instead of reacting immediately, pause and say, "I need a moment." Pause. "I want to explain my perspective clearly." This prevents misunderstandings.
So pauses protect relationships too.
Absolutely. They give emotions time to settle. Now we'll try an extended speaking practice. Listeners, you can repeat after us. Speak slowly, add pauses intentionally. Ready?
Ready.
I may not speak perfectly, pause, but I communicate clearly.
I may not speak perfectly, pause, but I communicate clearly.
I take my time, pause, and people understand me.
I take my time, pause, and people understand me.
Wonderful. These sentences build a new internal belief. Confidence grows from repeated calm experiences. And as you continue practicing pauses in daily conversations, something changes quietly. You stop fearing silence. You start using it intentionally. And when that happens, your English stops feeling like a performance and starts feeling like a natural extension of who you are.
Nora, I feel like something important has changed during this conversation. At the beginning, pauses felt like mistakes. Now they feel like choices.
That shift is the heart of confident communication. When you stop seeing pauses as problems, you begin speaking with freedom, and freedom changes everything. Today, we're going to bring all these ideas together in real-life situations, the moments where confidence truly matters. Let's imagine a normal weekday morning. You arrive at work. A colleague greets you. "Good morning, how are you today?" Before, maybe you answered automatically. "Fine, thank you." Fast, safe, finished. But now try this. "Well," pause. "I'm doing good today. I finally slept well last night." That tiny pause turns a routine exchange into a real human interaction.
It feels more relaxed, more real.
Exactly. Confident English is not perfect English. It is comfortable English. Now let's walk through a full conversation scenario together. Imagine you are in an international meeting. Several people are talking. You want to contribute an idea. Your heart beats faster. Old habit says, speak quickly before the chance disappears. But now you know another way. You wait. You listen. A natural pause appears, and you enter calmly. I'd like to add something. Maybe we could approach this from another angle. You didn't fight for attention. You joined with presence.
I can picture myself doing that now. Before, I thought confidence meant speaking louder or faster.
Confidence often sounds quieter. Calm voices attract attention because they feel stable. Let's explore another situation. You're traveling abroad. You need help at a train station. You feel nervous because strangers are listening. Instead of rushing, you pause. "Hi, could you help me find platform 3? Clear, polite, calm. Most people respond warmly to that energy.
I realize pauses also help pronunciation when asking questions.
Yes, they allow your mouth and brain to work together. Now let's talk about something emotional. Many learners carry a hidden belief. My English must be perfect before I can sound confident. But confidence comes first. Improvement follows confidence. And pauses are one of the fastest ways to feel confident immediately, even at beginner or intermediate levels.
That's encouraging, because vocabulary takes time, but pauses I can practice today.
Exactly. Let's do a longer role play combining everything we learned. I'll be your manager giving feedback. Your presentation was interesting, but some parts were unclear. Take a breath, pause, respond calmly.
Thank you for the feedback. Could you tell me which parts I should improve?
Excellent. You stayed open, professional, and confident. Now another scenario. A friend asks you about your future plans. What do you want to do next year?
Pause. That's a good question. I'd like to improve my English and maybe work internationally.
Beautiful answer. Simple English, strong presence. That is fluent communication. Now I want to talk about long-term growth. At first, pauses may feel intentional. You think about them consciously. But with practice, something amazing happens. Pauses become natural. You stop planning them. Your brain automatically slows your speech when needed. Your breathing supports your sentences. Your confidence feels real instead of forced.
So one day, I won't even notice I'm using pauses.
Exactly. They become part of your speaking personality. And here's something many learners discover later. Pauses don't only change how others hear you, they change how you hear yourself. You begin to sound calm to your own ears. You begin trusting your voice.
That sounds powerful, because sometimes the hardest listener to satisfy is myself.
Yes, self-judgment is often stronger than external judgment. So I want to share a mindset shift. Instead of asking, did I speak perfectly? Ask, did I communicate clearly? If the answer is yes, you succeeded. Now let's imagine one final situation. You are meeting someone new. maybe a future colleague, maybe a new friend, maybe someone important in your life. You introduce yourself slowly. Hi. Pause. I'm Miles. Nice to meet you. You smile. You breathe. You allow the conversation to unfold naturally. No rushing, no pressure, just communication.
I can feel how different that energy is. It feels confident without trying too hard.
Because true confidence is relaxed. It does not hurry. It trusts time. Before we close today, I want everyone listening to try one small experiment this week. Choose 3 conversations, only 3. In those conversations, pause before answering, pause after important ideas, and replace with silence. That's all. You don't need new vocabulary. You don't need perfect grammar. Just practice calm timing.
I think many listeners will be surprised how quickly this changes their experience.
Yes, often the biggest transformation comes from the smallest adjustment, and pauses are small but powerful. Now I want to speak directly to you listening right now. Maybe you feel shy speaking English. Maybe you worry about mistakes. Maybe you compare yourself to fluent speakers. I want you to remember this. Your voice deserves space. You are allowed to think. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to speak slowly. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is comfort.
I wish someone had told me this earlier in my learning journey.
Many learners need to hear it again and again because confidence grows through kindness toward yourself. Every pause you take is an act of self-trust. Every calm sentence is progress, and every conversation, even imperfect ones, moves you forward.
I feel like today's lesson is not only about English, it's about communication as a human skill.
That's true. Language connects people, and when you speak with calm presence, people listen not only to your words, but to you. Take a slow breath. Notice how you feel now compared to the beginning. Maybe a little calmer, maybe a little braver. Carry that feeling into your next conversation.
And remember, you don't need to speak fast to sound fluent.
You only need to speak with intention. Pause, think, then speak. We're very proud of your progress. Keep practicing, keep trusting your voice, and keep speaking English confidently.